Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome to the weekly Monday Magic Intuitive Energy reading. It is unfortunate, I will say, that this day has to be September 11th. It is a anniversary of a tragic event here in the United States, and it certainly does flavor the energy of the day. In fact, it's 3 p.m. Central Time as I record this, and I had to wait because the energy of the morning was just too heavy and dense. And typically, these readings are designed to kind of help you remember you're not alone in this, that we're all in this together. I'll kind of give you sort of a recap of where we were last week, what we're kind of feeling today, and then call in some guidance on how to move forward. We'll still do that, but this is a very different energy that we're working with today that historically in previous years I have noticed only really lasts this day, starts a little bit the day before, and is pretty well dissipated the following day. So if you're feeling some of the density and the heaviness, and this one's a pretty intense feeling relative to what we've experienced in previous years. So if you're suffering from this just general discomfort, sort of feeling yucky. To me, I almost felt sick to my stomach multiple times this morning. Heavy and dense, I've already said, but it really just kind of a feeling of like impending doom. And this sense of like anticipating that the shoe's going to drop, or there's a problem around the corner, or there's something that I need to look out for. And I know that very clearly is not mine. There's nothing astrologically impacting me that would suggest that. This is very much a collective heaviness that I'm feeling today. Sort of a sense of impending doom, which is a pretty strong word to describe the energy. I would say also a collective sadness. There's even a feeling of maybe even being triggered, or a desperation or a despair, sort of a frustration, and even big fears being activated. Sort of that feeling of impending doom, or the feeling of helplessness or frustration that has been coming through and just mostly this morning. It really seems to be activating some of the fears. And so I would suspect that it goes after whatever you're still working through or still needing to work through. I think whatever that big fear is that's prompted or poked, if you will, is going to be specific to you, but it is being driven by the density and the heaviness of the energy that we're experiencing. So if you're feeling this, know that it will pass pretty quickly. As we look back and we look forward, the energy is not too bad. The last week was pretty intense. We'll say that. I don't ever really feel like intensity is necessarily negative. But there was a fair amount of solar activity. We had quite a few M-class solar flares come through, almost one a day last week. We had a couple within the last 36, 48 hours. We've had multiple. So that certainly can add to it. There were a couple of coronal mass injections, even though they weren't directed at the planet Earth. We still experienced a KP4 on the index, so that's elevated. It's not super high, but there was sort of just a general theme of minor activation throughout the whole week last week, which was not a bad thing necessarily. Some days I felt pretty energized. Other days I felt pretty tired and fatigued and sleepy. There was even some tummy issues coming through Thursday, Friday. No, what day was that? Friday. Yes. Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right in there. And so that felt like a lot of purging, a lot of just heavy energy, not even heavy necessarily, but more intense. And that felt very much like a purge. It was very interesting because the activating energy, even though it was, relatively minor, relatively speaking, right? It could bring fatigue and tiredness, or it even could bring moments of joy and bliss. And I really found it interesting how I felt like I was easing into more flow. I was sensing into the higher timelines, the future, what's coming. It's almost like kind of an awareness or a knowing of, oh, this is where it's going. This is how we are evolving. This is how this is where my life is going. This is what this relationship dynamic is looking like in the future. Being able to kind of see why things are happening, and feeling into the sense of the quality of the dynamic, whether it's relationship to relationship, or relationship of a person to a thing. There's just sort of maybe even a thinning of the veil, where it just kind of feels like we can better sense where this is going or what's coming for us. Yeah, so I think that kind of gives us a good sense of what last week looked like, where we're at today. It's also noteworthy that we have a new moon in Virgo coming up on the 14th. Sounds like it's going to be pretty soft and easy. Again, I really like to recommend Adam Ellenboss. He has been one of the most accurate. There's a few others that I watch, but for today, we'll stick with Adam. We'll see if I want to disclose my favorites here today. It's really not a thing, but I don't want to overwhelm you with too many examples or suggestions. As far as the advice of what's being called for right now, it is really that easing into the flow, allowing whatever it is that's coming, remembering that this too shall pass, especially today in this moment. And just allowing your body to process the emotions, whatever's coming up for you, remembering that we are here to transmute. We are light workers. We are here to hold the light for the collective, for those who are not awake yet, for those who are very much in pain today, for those who are hurting, remembering that love is the answer in every moment, and really just focusing on that heart chakra and expanding that out as big as you possibly can. And my body is being flooded with hormones. Oh, that's interesting. With goosebumps right now. And just really, really envisioning holding your community, holding the collective, holding the globe in the orb of your heart, in the bubble of love that you're is as large as you can possibly expand that, to just really spread nurture, love, and care to those who are in need today. That it is very much up to us to remember that everything is always for our highest good, to look for that silver lining, to trust and allow and know that why these things happen presents itself in divine timing, and there is always a positive benefit. Right? That sometimes the very thing that can seem like our prison is the thing that sets us free. And so it is up to us to transmute, especially today, to hold space for the collective. And we do that by being present in the body, by allowing the emotions to move through us, by looking at the perspectives and the stories that we are telling ourselves and finding a more resourceful perspective or story, so that we can, again, go back to love, go back to shining that light as best we can, and allowing those emotions to move through us. We are helping the collective process. The tide rises all boats. So as you move the energy through you and you come back to that higher vibration, you are very subtly and subconsciously, they may not be aware of it, but you are helping to lift and elevate everyone as well. Remember to be the observer. Separate yourself from the thinker versus the observer. The thinker is what causes you suffering, those me, my, I thoughts. That's the problem. We want to start to notice as the observer, oh, I see that thought that is happening right now. So today's general theme or question would be, why does that happen to me? Right? Why did I have to witness this thing? Why do I have to live in this environment? Why do I have to suffer the world's corruption right now? Whatever it is, the story that you're telling yourself, really separate yourself from that and remember that everything is always happening for your good, that there is a silver lining, and you can find it when you choose to look for it, separating yourself from the thinker and becoming the observer. And you will be powerfully surprised when you are fully in the observer, that you have such a sense of peace and stillness. It's a sweetness that you cannot find in any other state of being. And that, again, will allow the emotions to move through and your light to shine and your love to expand. Trust and allow. And also the final note I have for today is really notice the triggers. notice how this energy may be bringing up deep fears for you or deep concerns, and look at that, because that is specific to you. While the energy is collective, what it triggers in you is an indicator to say there's an issue that needs to be worked through. And what is in the way is the way. So those triggers are gifts. We love our triggers. We want to dive deep into them, feel it to heal it. The only way through is, to go in, and stop with the avoidance or, the bypassing. We really want to get intimate with our triggers and really understand what's being called for healing right now, right? Okay, I think I kind of did that one quick, but that's okay. What is coming? Again, we've got that new moon on the 14th. So you tend to start to feel the energies building about 3 days before. So that's kind of right now. The moon, I believe, peaks at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. You do the calculations. I'm not very good at that for the rest of the world. But also know too that we're inching towards eclipse season, right? So they say that eclipse season, you start to feel it about 6 weeks before. And so we're very much in that window. But generally the new moon looks pretty good. So again, check out Adam Ellenboss if you want more information on that. He's pretty accurate. So all right. I love you, my friends. Take care of yourself. Drink water. Put your feet on the ground. Only ever have positive thoughts towards yourself. Become the observer. Find the peace, find the love, and send it to your brothers and sisters. I love you, my friends. Take care. And I will see you on the next one. Namaste.